Only you can save the world and your family. Audiobook by Steve Race. youtube.com/@Steve-Race. Book summary. 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000,000 planets had the ideal temperature, water, oxygen, and chemicals to spawn life. But all had ample uranium, too. Most astronomers calculate that many millions developed high-tech beings who quickly arrived at humanity's exact reform or die bottleneck. Industrial CO2 atmosphere explosion overheating away regular rainfall, and nuclear bombs multiplying to certain extinction. My speeches describe how Earth's 8 billion people, without the new laws that only you, never corrupted leaders, can win, will all die horrible deaths in months to years of terminal weaponeering and warmongering. How many far away, equally suicidal non-civilizations miraculously made their last-second rescue rules to ban weapons and armies of mass destruction and find new water supplies while reducing and scrubbing out excess atmosphere CO2? Our radio telescopes listening in vain for intelligent signals damn near prove almost none. But 1,000 1950s newspaper reports of flying saucers, some directly over missile silos, shutting down their launch controls, and 457 witnesses to the Roswell alien crash landing should make us believe that at least one planet's scientific species unsprung their war and global warming technology's extinction booby trap with the same love and care laws that my speeches beg of you. No other doomed unfortunates lived long enough to achieve interstellar travel. Aren't we about to disappear from any other galactic radio dishes barely over 1 century from the first human broadcast? My massive speeches mostly entreat action from you. First learn true his story. Archaeologists dug up no weapon-hacked human bones from our first 2 million years. Hunters used their highly lethal weapons only to kill game. They fully loved and protected all men, women, and children until just 10,000 years ago when new farms, large habitations, greedy governments, human hunting armies, and fearful, foolish hatred of other races, religions, and flags blackened their once loving hearts and actions. Hear my story of the first war quickly exploding to thousands more, slaughtering 1 billion poor souls. Why? War patriarchs fired every single peace matriarch. Now, only 90 seconds from midnight on the Union of Concerned Scientists' doomsday clock, you must legally, publicly put feminine nurturing back in charge, or very fast reap the suffering and death that our historic private inattention has sown. The worst 2020s wars in Ukraine, Russia, all around Israel, Sudan, Yemen, and Syria are incessantly fueled by World Murder Incorporated, including gigantic American sales. To keep H-bomb flashes from your own window, you must demand that the American government use its weapons supply leverage to deny Ukraine permission to invade Russia with its troops, hit Russian targets with American missiles, drone bomb Russian civilians in their homes, or blast frontline Russian troops back out of Ukraine with Abrams tanks, F-16, submarines and long-range artillery and missiles. Such American and Ukrainian assault offense offers many noble-sounding defensive excuses apparently justified by the savage Russian invasion. But if you fail to intervene and stop this Western drive to crush and entirely defeat Russia's evil foreign attack, the humiliated conventional war loser Vladimir Putin will destroy Ukraine with hundreds of triple Hiroshima nuclear bombs. Then NATO fully plans to blitzkrieg Moscow with thousands of tanks, bombers, and missiles. Putin's only defense left would be nuclear destruction of Europe and America from underground. 2 nuclear winter years later, he would emerge, emperor of 8 billion corpses. My movement is only you, a billion family lovers taking charge. No one else will lift a finger. Your attempts to stop the world's other 48 wars, slightly less certain to explode total human extinction, will totally fail, as always, by merely begging fully corrupted, genocidally armed powers to stop all of the terminal slaughter while you allow them to keep every weaponeer's bribe and weapon of mass destruction. Just pretty please, don't use them. No, you'll have to force your governments to stop buying this shit with your money. Then legally end all weapons merchant freedom to keep directly making, selling, and shipping billions of World War III weapons to the thousands of armies and militias now fighting it. Then pass laws coercing death dealers to convert to help people products. God's 4,000-year-old, simple, totally ignored command to pound thy swords into plowshares always 100% failed because you never went public to make family love government law. Hear my book, Make Human Law. All we have now is arms merchants give politicians campaign cash for the quid pro quo. Empty our treasuries to them for 300 million war murders, 90% civilians since World War I, and now imminent doom of us remaining 8 billion. For all of my long life, everyone always told me, I'll stop nothing and save no one, because contract murder rules helpless humanity. I'm equally powerless. I give up. No, you possess ultimate potential power, just no plan of rescue action. Now me, I nearly nailed my 50-year plan to destroy my life, then die of drug addiction. Instead, 10 years ago, some deep voice made me kick the crap for my final compulsion, describing our human love and care laws that only you can win. Yes, we can. Take 1/500th of your family care time some days to promote the replacement of every corporate and private politician gift dollar with tax-funded, equal to all candidates' campaign publicity only. Skype and Zoom people in all nations. Together work on our world treaty that replaces giant armies and bombs with modest border sentries only. Sue in federal courts to enforce the 57-year-old, 195-nation abrogated nuclear non-proliferation treaty that orders all nations steady work until universal nuclear and conventional disarmament. Then advance to ratification our Border Defenses Only Treaty with tenants to build the thousands of CO2 air scrubbing factories needed to reverse our overheated droughts back to plentiful regular rain again, also ending the apocalyptic floods and fires. But long before this full century project succeeds, humanity soon dies of savage six-continent drought unless more of your law, orders, and funds the massive collection of fresh steam rising over hot, salty coastal oceans and capture of the same sky river clouds' massive recurring floodwaters just inland. Pipe both to the 40% coastal population. We must also deliver irrigation to forests before they soon die of drought, which would explode 2025 CO2 emissions 5 times higher, ending all regular rain, not to mention most life on Earth. Collect ocean evaporation with Professor Tucor's giant panel design and raging river coastal floods with big pipes, extended up over entire continents by electric propellers inside powered by solar panels above. Listener experts, please devise better ways to save forests, refill emptying lakes, irrigate dying farms, and rescue a world of habitations today and every day receiving less and less of the regular rain keeping us alive. I'm just a deep-thinking amateur who passionately worries, cares, and tries. If each of you just once recruits 2 more very part-time helpers within a month, we'll have an army 1 billion strong in 2.5 years. Exactly the 12% activists researchers have discovered strong enough to persuade the other 88% to support and enact history's myriad successful new knowledge and care rescue movements. Referring again to your international computer communication to boom anti-bigotry education and world disarmament collaboration, plan for these contacts to grow into actual treaty tenants, growing universal, all-age schools, learning through earth-wide, live, audiovisual dialogue that also delivers legal rescue programs we demand of every government on earth. Or instead of pressing our world and your own family-saving decisions and actions, you do remain free to ignore your powerful opportunities, only inviting the final corrupt commercial war explosion rocketing higher every damn news day. While every worse drought with 0 new water supply projects begun soon drive a parched, starving billion to desperately push into 100 other almost equally imperiled nations. Then your own family might not die first. But trust me, your hopeless, preventable with action suffering is coming soon. Aren't you tempted to blame Almighty God, who obviously keeps failing to just take over for utterly lost human leadership? Well, aren't you forgetting that He created our ethical, family-loving hearts, clever brains, strong muscles, and loud voices to make and enforce human law in God's image? Plus our fabulous, far greater living human now almighty power. His creation of us, His and our good purpose for us, is active, powerful human love and care of each by all, and all by each. while we refuse our public care duty for only our own private family focus, the war and theft power big dog sickos ever keep coming to crush us all to our fast, fatal end. While God only becomes helpless, impotent, and finally dead. And what is this awful, all too universal, human, and galactic story's moral? What and who is God? You are God. But only when you put your full human love and His into public collaboration, care, action, and the new every family rescue laws that we must make together. Now or never. Go!